getting echo, but people should be able to join in here. I'm trying to read this one that came up from Jackrabbit. I had some connection earlier this week too. Had to plug in a new Wi-Fi adapter, USB RTX. Yeah, part of my problem is the RTX. We don't have an RTX. We are going to be getting an RTX in the future. Properties, hold on a second. I'm going to monitor output. Why am I getting... Oh, that's better. All right, since we're not really... Well, crap. Hello. Screw the echo. Sorry, everything's looking sound good. Good. All right. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to probably edit this together on YouTube for a proper video. I knew it wasn't right the time to make a joke. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So the issue, tech issues I've been having, like I said, we're going to be looking into a $6,000 dollar system. Maybe. I might just go with the cheaper $2,000 item setup. It's a difference of processor. One is like a brand new processor setup, but we're gonna be doing it. Problem is this whole setup doesn't really have a graphics card as a basic graphics card as out of the box, and we've been pushing that for years until we can afford a new setup, and the new setup's coming in the next month or two, maybe 3, depending on when we can get it brought to us. But we have a new setup on the way. It'll hopefully will improve, and we're gonna probably change OPS because Streamlabs has been a problem for years. It literally takes me forever to load a menu sometimes with them, and it's absurd. And that's off stream. So, the Kris Tyson issue. So, we're gonna address this picture right here. I wonder if I can blow this. Just go full image. Here we go. Let's zoom in again. No, that's not how I want it. I want to blow up the image. Can I blow up the image? No, you're not. Okay. No. Don't give me a visual search. All right. We'll do it this way. Where's plus? Control plus. Well, it's not gonna let me. Damn! Throw my damn mouse everywhere. I opened something I shouldn't. Alright. That's nice. So, right here, this is Kris before they transitioned. That is Mr. Beast. That is Jimmy. Looking at his Shadman picture right there. I don't know why the VTuber stopped. Okay, there we go. So yeah, that is a Sadman image. Shadman, I've not had a run-in with Shadman before. I've been in the art community for a while. Sorry, I'm probably distracting you. I love chatting technology. No, it's great. Great to chat technology. Like I said, I'll probably go into updates. I mean, we'll probably cover it. Upgrades coming. I might make that the next Drivel Draw, official Drivel Draw. It hurts that Kris is a predator. I love and respect him. He was left his wife and child not because of being, or because he became trans. Yes, and because he's a father, this kind of crap needs to take his child away from him. Cannot have visitation with this. I'm sorry. This should be put in evidence against him having visitation. It really is. I know it hurts him, but that's going to be the issue. You cannot have a child in this situation. I've called this crap out before with trans people. Being trans myself, if you have a child and you are transitioning, do not put the child in that environment. It is not good for them. You can discuss it with your partner. If your child's more teenage, I'd be understanding. But a young age, they are impressionable, and it could damage them in their development. It could. Mentally, it's something to deal with, say, a psychologist, particularly a family therapy or something like that. I know it hates. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Kris pre-used a lot of Shadman's work. Fake lollies are okay. Real lollies are never okay. I'm okay with having a lolly character, but when you sexualize the character, then we have problems. I mean, I'll use my own work to help discuss this, because yes, I have done adult art. It's not unheard of. I've done adult art. I had to pull a stream that we did because I accidentally dropped a image from a commission of me drawing a topless Ranma, which canonically happens in the series. It's not unheard of. It was a commission I drew about a year ago of Ranma topless. It's something I had to pull from a stream. I could not have that on a stream. Thank you. Child needs stable. Yes, child needs a stable. I won't say father figure, because you can have a stable gay relationship or lesbian relationship to raise a child. It is stable. My brother and his partner are adopting. They're taking over their guardianship of their nephew because their nephew is in a bad situation. But you cannot have a toxic situation where someone, because ultimately being trans, it's a very inner issue. And when you're raising a child, and this doesn't just apply to trans, this can apply to anything. When you have a child and you're focusing on an inner issue, alcoholism, drugs, homelessness situation, and you have a child in that situation, it does damage to that child. It really does. You need to find a stable situation for that child. Once you have a kid, you have responsibility for a child. Yes, absolutely. Your inner feelings, you can be trans and have a child, but don't transition with the child that is young, in my opinion. It's... I know it sucks to hold off on your transition, but if you've already transitioned, you're fully, appearing male or female, not the in-betweeners, then it might be a little bit more acceptable. I wouldn't mind having a child. I have and still live fully as a woman. It's been something of my own. But I also have to question, my behavior around a child. It has to be taken in consideration. What Kris does is not behavior to be appropriate around a child. And the sad truth is, his Shadman issues were around with his child. So that was inappropriate behavior around a child. And let's talk about Shadman. A bit of warning. You are going to see some Shadman art. I am not going to blur this crap out. YouTube and Twitch friendly art because it is covered in a news article, but it is Shadman art. I do not appreciate what these subjects are. And call out to Keemstar because poor dude had his child sexualized in Shadman art. And Shadman had been arrested. So, what is Shadman art? So, let's go to talk. Go to talk. This is a Shadman piece right here. This is slightly more tolerable, but I know this art. I know where this is going. You see that dog? That's going to be a bad situation right there. This is the only acceptable way to put this on here. But the girl is abused. She's beaten. She is being treated as a horrible situation. Now, as a story writer, as a cartoonist, if you're going to have a section where a child takes an injury, I mean, I show in my series, Demon Blade, I showed Tetsu being attacked, beaten, and stabbed. I show it. And Tetsu, at the point in the story, is 7 years old. But it's there to tell the tragedy they go through. It is not meant to be entertaining, acceptable. It is horrific. And it's meant to be drawn that way. What Shadman draws, he's gotten arrested for, okay? He is an online alias of a 32-year-old Shadadi region, a Swiss-born resident of Los Angeles, whose first name made themselves with drawings. On Newsground, their art is still on DeviantArt. I have to say, do not go looking for it. It is still on DeviantArt. This, I would say, is more acceptable, but this is still a lowly character. This is Lucy from Loud House. I have a borderline, and I've called people out on this crap because I've touched very, very close subjects. Is this art legal? This one, yes. This is legal because it's not sexual. Now, if I showed you the full image, no. These ones are not all of his arts. Shad took an 8-year-old, real life, 8-year-old kid, which was Keemstar's child, and drew them performing a sexual act on Donald Trump. An 8-year-old child. An actual, not a fictional. This is a fictional character right here. That was not. I'm not showing the illegal. No, I cannot show the illegal art. I can show the legal art, but I cannot show illegal art. Because one, I would get my stream wiped off the face of the planet if I showed it. Art-wise, Shad's decent. Okay, they're a decent artist. Problem being is their choice of subject, because there's no way around it. It's child pornography. Alright, can't on stream, shouldn't either. The stuff shouldn't be shared. Yeah, no, it should not be shared. That's not okay. Yeah. Shadman is a controversial artist because of this. They got kicked out of art because of this. Just make sure before I burn my phone. Don't go looking. don't go looking. I know it exists. I know where it exists. Still, I cannot vouch for who's what still on his DeviantArt page, but his DeviantArt page still exists. I've been asked in the past to do stuff that I said no to because it touches on that stuff. I was asked to do some lewd art of the characters from Arthur, the cartoon Arthur, and I said no. It's like, these are children. I am not doing it. He's like, oh, well, this stuff's all out there. It's like, I don't care if it's all out there. I'm not going to do child pornography. And it's important to have that sort of hard line in your work. And we'll go. I mean, let me see. Let me see if I can pull up the closest I get to Shadman. Without really revealing any pornography and whatnot. So, no, I'll pull it up on the web. I'll pull it up on the web. So, because a lot of Shadman's art is child abuse and pornography, and it's not appropriate for any age, in my opinion. Let's see here. I need to go to gallery. And it's going to be issue 5. So, go to the art. I can show this off. Alright. We're going to... So... a scene like this is as far as I will go. This is as far as I will go. And if you note, I do a lot of blocking and suggestion in this scene. This is where the main character in Demon Blade gets their initial scar. They are fighting a bully in a playground. Well, not a playground. Out in a field. And they go to protect someone they love, and they get slashed across the neck and chin. It was hard to draw something like this. Just the scene and how it plays out. But that's a character development moment. That is not something I like to draw, but to tell the story, to tell elements of this character development, it's important to have these scenes. Going back to Shadman, this art by Shadman, no. This one page, I'm acceptable of. But I believe this is a series of arts pieces, and it gets... the only way to put it is not only child predator, animal abuse, all that. It's not acceptable behavior. It really is not. And this stuff, the non-safe for work stuff, was what Kris was rooting on and supporting and commissioning. This is a commission right here of Shadman. This image right here. I'm glad I can't show any more than what appears in a small imagery here. But the fact that Mr. Beast is staring right at this image tells me they know. They knew for a while about the situation, and it is not acceptable. Call transphobia all you want. This is not acceptable behavior at all. And you can be like, hey, they're my friend. You're glad a glad artist. I'm glad you draw the line. Yes, I have to. I have to. In order to be taken seriously as an artist, you have to have a line. Now, it's not unheard of for some that are infamous artists or famous artists that have drawn the line. The creator of Steven Universe, she drew child porn of Ed, Edd and Eddy. I cannot show it, but she has been noted for that stuff. There is a horrible issue of child porn in the industry, especially with a lot of cartoonists. There was an issue with, what was it? I'd say Nickelodeon. Oh no, the Cartoon Network. Hold on, let me see it. This just came out a week ago. So, Kyle Krasanza, the creator of, I think it was, Mighty Magiswords, arrested on child porn. What's wrong with people? I don't know. I do not know. This guy, arrested on child porn. Personally, I can believe it. I can believe it. The dude is... It's disturbing. I was wondering what went to hide the trans gay community, hide perversions. The problem is that they actually protect him to a degree, which is why Mr. Beast is so vehemently defending Kris at first. Yes. Which is why I really have to call out. It's like, if Mr. Beast does not 100% come out against his friend on this, he's come out partially, but he's still defending his friend. If he does not come out 100% against this and address the issue in a video, I'm sorry. It has to be a video with Mr. Beast. He is YouTube's top creator. He has to come out and actually make a video addressing the issue and publicly apologizing. If he does not, then never have a child in your videos again. Never. Otherwise, you support child predator behavior, Mr. Beast, and you should go down with that notification. I'm sorry, but yes, Mr. Beast should be pulled if that is the concept. I'm sorry. It's gotta happen. It's why Dr. Disrespect was pulled, and this is supporting behavior. I really, really have to make that point. If you support this crap, it needs to stop. It really needs to. You should not be on a platform streaming. I'll be waiting for his response too. Yeah, so far his response has been not in public video. If I don't see a video in a month addressing this issue on the Mr. Beast's channel, then he needs to be, I don't want to say cancel, because I don't agree with canceling, but this needs to be stated that Mr. Beast supports child pornography in that sense, because his actions, his non-action on this stuff is unacceptable, 100%. And I understand supporting your friend. Again, I stated, I have a friend who committed attempted homicide. I support my friend, but I do not forgive my friend. What he did was unforgivable. I will be there to help him see it through, but I will not forgive him for what he did to his mother. Canceling is kind of stupid. Yes, canceling is stupid, but it's absurd that YouTube YouTube hadn't really done an addressed it on this issue. So YouTube, where the hell is YouTube's response to this? This has been a week going on with this issue. I didn't want to touch this issue until Rolling Stone made this article. YouTube needs to address this issue because this is not the first time YouTube, their top people, are doing wrong things. The top people are doing things that threaten lives, that threaten children. It's absurd that YouTube does not address this issue. This is criminal, in a sense, that they let this happen, and they're like, oh, we're not going to even address the issue. Oh, no. All right, so, yeah, we haven't done any drawing. This is a drivel draw. We haven't done any drawing. All right, let's do some art. I mean, we need to not allow the criminal behavior to continue. It has to be called out. And I'm glad on the people who have called it out, who address this issue. And call it out. Doesn't matter who you support. Call it out. Art, yes. Art. Let's actually do some art. And we'll lighten up with the stream from this point. It's not gonna be long, because, like I said, this is initially would have been a drivel or a Dining and Doodles stream, where we usually handle either requests, and we now have another setup where we'll do a random roll, determine what we draw on the stream. I'm putting together a list of characters that people would want me to draw, but also requests. I think I'm going to give priority to requested ones, characters, so, in the future. Well, gotta go. Have a good to have you here, Bookie Boo. Thank you for joining in the chat. Thanks everyone for sticking out through most of the tech issues we've been having. I'm trying to get back into Kirita myself. I tried a new AI plugin with RTX and trained off some of my own art. Cool. Most of my art, and for those who've been waiting, both Demon Blade and Witching will drop a new page tomorrow. They are back. If you want to see them, they are on Tapas, Webtoons, DeviantArt, and Demon Blade has its own website. I don't have one yet for Witchin' yet. I might do one for Witchin', but right now, Demon Blade has its own, which is demonbladecomic.com. There you can read all the issues. But if you want to support me, we have Patreon right there. Right there at the bottom of the page. Patreon. Or if you're like, oh, well, I don't want to do Patreon. I'd rather, have something physical. Go to Amazon. Demon Blade issues. There are Demon Blade issues for digital. And Book 1, which covers issues 1 through 6, is available in print on Amazon as well. So you can have a physical copy of them. Heads up, I don't even have a copy of my own book. I don't know why I haven't bothered getting it. Amazon, I've seen it published, because if you've tuned into me, I've go on streams with Septum Sim versus the World, and they have a copy of the book, and I saw their copy in person. So and signed it. So the book is available. It's gonna have issue 2 or book 2 come out. I mean, technically we're on issue 10. So after issue 12 drops, I'll work on the book for book 2. The concept is to have 6 chapters because each chapter is 36 pages long plus cover. So, and title page. So, getting that thrown in together in a book, you're looking at about 200 plus images or pages for a large size. I mean, it's not a small book. It publishes in Pagewise. And it's available for purchase. We also have a store, but I don't push the store much these days because Streamlabs is weird. They helped set up the store, but I think I'm gonna go with another company for the store that will have stuff like t-shirts and other things available. I don't have anything for Witchin on there because Witchin came out last year. We released it publicly then, but I am not liking how Abigail looks in this. I'm gonna have to sketch her out better. Witchin's had a greater popularity than Demon Blade, although Demon Blade's growing. And ironically, I've been having some people say, "Oh, I've been following you for Demon Blade," and now I just discovered Witchin. It's like, yeah. I don't like how flat that head is. There we go. Witchin's a bit different. It's mostly comedy. Demon Blade's action adventure, with romance and a bit of comedy in there too. Oh, I mean, comedy. There are comedic moments. It's very much shonen. So it's designed to look kind of like a shonen on purpose, and it's designed in black and white so it can publish with ease. Because if I made it colored, it would cost a lot more than the $15 it costs for the issue that it currently is. Witchin, I don't know if I'm ever gonna publish it in print. I don't know. It'll depend on how the series goes. We're only on issue 5, but in the past, it's only been 16 pages per chapter. This is page 18 of 5, so we've stepped away from that when we went to the now weekly release of Witchin instead of multiple chapters. So 5, I don't know how many pages I'm going to make Witchin per chapter. Some might be short, some might be long. It's more webtoon created. Initially the plan, because webtoons approached me about doing a webtoon series before webtoons decided to be more of a dick on how to process a series. But they were like, "Hey, you've been doing a series with us for years. That's on the, what is it, Canvas? We would appreciate if you did something more exclusive with us." And I was like, "Okay, maybe. Let's look." And then they started. I don't know if the people I was in talk with were being deceptive or not at the time, because they basically, it's right. They contacted me about this before they announced Crunchyroll stuff with stuff like Tower of God, High School. What is it? I forget the High School Fight, and I think there's a new series they dropped, which is a webtoon. The problem being is webtoons is not very nice and kind to non-Korean artists. It takes a lot to become public with them, or to have a deal struck, and with Witchin, it was going to be an exclusive, but once they started being a little like, well, we're gonna, make it. You have to meet these protocols now to make this a webtoons exclusive, and I'm like, nah, I'm not giving you the rights to my creation. I'm sorry. You can go to hell with that. If you create a series, story or art, and you get a company that says, hey, we'd like to talk to you about, promoting this stuff. Now, when you promote it with us, it's our exclusive. It's like, the answer should be no. Right there. If you give away your rights to a series, then it's on you. If something happens and they kick you out and somebody else does the art and whatnot. I think it's hard to get art accepted on webtoons, yeah. They're super strict on ways they accept. Yes. So, I've been on Demon Blade, had Demon Blade on there for years. We transferred. The reason why Demon Blade wasn't on an exclusive on webtoons is we were an exclusive on what predated Tappas, called Ink Blazers. And when Ink Blazers went away and became Tappas, they killed the original comic. Given I was already ready to switch over to a new type of look for Demon Blade, and that's when I was doing the series monthly, releasing 24 plus pages a day, a monthly. And it's kind of like joining a VTuber organization. They own everything. Yeah. There's a reason why I won't join a VTuber company either. It's the same concept, especially with what happened with what was it, Niji Sonji issue? That's the reason you don't give away your rights to something. There are some groups a little more respective of their creators and their artists and their VTubers, but at the same time, I hate giving my rights of my own creations to companies. God, my throat kills me. But, that's what's pissed me off with DeviantArt, in a sense, because DeviantArt lately, and I've been adamant against them on this, it's been like, oh, no, we're gonna let other people use your art for AI creation. It's like, screw you. In fact, actually, let's because we're no longer talking about the subject. If you came here for just the subject,
then it's fine. So go ahead and leave. But we're doing the art. I'll bring in the voice back. This sounds weird with the echo. I've got to fix the audio. I don't know why I've got an echo on my head. But I'll have to fix that off stream. No, she shouldn't have a strong eyebrow. It should be up. Should be up. She's more concerned. Okay. So, let's talk a bit about the page I'm drawing. So, what's happening, and this will be probably September pages of Witchin. Actually, no, we're almost to the end of July, so October. These are more along the lines of October pages. We're gonna have a moment of Ida showing off her magic to her boss Esme, her boss slash trainer Esme, or teacher. And this is gonna be a moment for Abigail. One, to see Ida's real form as Theodore. And two, see magic really, really used in the series. So I'm building to a very drawing heavy scene, which this top panel, I've been messing with it. This middle panel, or more appropriate, this color wave thing. It's supposed to represent a magical barrier being raised. I'm still fighting over if that's how I want it to look. As it's going up, I've got to mess around a bit more. But seeing Theodore, because this is Theodore versus Ida, there's very, very little difference. One is the eyes, and two is the symbol that Theodore wears, or the talisman that they wear. And the fact that Theodore is not stacked like Ida. Echo is fine. Yeah, I got RTX solely past the new AI. I can see why platforms are trying to push towards it. Magic is always the best part of novels. Can't wait. Yeah. The trick is when you try to draw them and have something amusing, you want it to look unique. Will you be drawing magical symbols for the spells being cast? Yes and no. Depends on the spell. Canonically, here in Witchin, there are ways I represent the spells that are different. That sometimes will use runes and spell circles. One I'm going to be showing Ida using off, might use one. I haven't fully decided, because Witchin, unlike Demon Blade where I've scripted it all out, Witchin is more freeform with the script. Like I've stated before, the current chapter, I introduced a character named Sydney. She was never initially planned for this chapter. She was just a throw-off character. But how she turned out, I'm going to make her a more permanent character. Whether or not she's going to continuously be chasing Ida as a love interest for her, maybe. I don't know. It was a fun gag that turned into be like, I think I like this character being around. Giving a little Rama one half, both male and female will have, love interests. um, throughout the story. Now, who Ida will love, I have not decided. Side character promoted to main cast. Yeah, well, side character cast. Cindy's not going to be a main cast member. I will know that. I do know that. But having a goth character be the techie is just amusing. And a techie that is deeply in love with the main character. Someone who's personally been struck as a side character. Majority of my life. Kind of find that inspiring. Hey! Don't consider yourself a side character. You're a main character in your own life. You may not have a successful time with relationships, but I mean, I definitely don't have any. My success has been getting and having one date and there. And then having my rape where someone was obsessed with me. And wanted me no matter what. And that's my success in love. So, my personal success in love sucks. But don't knock yourself down. And there's chance. I hope. For myself. But yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Story-wise, I worked to create a relationship with the characters that I kind of like, and I kind of feel these characters work well with each other. Such is the case with Tetsu, with both Mai and Kyle in Demon Blade. Particularly Kyle, more so, because Tetsu has a relationship with Kyle from the get-go. They also have a relationship with another character, which has only been mentioned and looked at once, and a fiance as well, that they don't even know about, that has been established already in the series. Because Tetsu comes from a well-off Japanese family. So, even though they live in the US. It also helps that the the fiance situation was pushed forward by her aunt. So, someone who's personally been struck, and we've got that at. So yeah, I mean, with Ida, I don't know. I know she's gonna have a unwanted relationship for a while, with her quote unquote cousin, with a character we've already introduced in the series, Valorian Wansdale will try to have a relationship with Ida. And Ida, I've said it before, he's very much based off of Gaston in that concept. The very machismo, I deserve to have this relationship kind of person. And what will happen in Chapter 6 will help push Val into this relationship. So, yeah. So Val will be playing a much larger role later. But for right now, he's not. Let me do something. I really... Oh, no, that's the picture. Alright, so we're gonna close that, because I don't want to show off the actual word balloons as they're occurring. But I need Esme's color panel, or color palette, as well as Abigail's. I can't wait. I really can't wait until chapter 6. I mean, I love it when I fall in love with what I'm working on stuff. It really comes down to that, and which in chapter 6 has been planned since the beginning of what would happen. The elements occurring right now have been planned for the beginning of this chapter. Not entirely. I mean, Esme testing Ida's powers, well, Theodore's powers in this sense, is important for her to learn. And I wanted to get it done before I had Ida working under Esme as a waitress. It's just appropriate there. Let me get an older page for Abigail. So this one. This is the one I'll drop tomorrow. To be honest, I think. I don't think this one's dropped yet. I'll have to look. But this one will drop tomorrow. And it gives me Abigail's palette. I did have a vote on DeviantArt with chapter 6. What people want to see story-wise, side story-wise. I'm calling that vote closed now. Shoot. There are going to be 2 side stories that happen in chapter 6, because a lot of chapter 6 is going to be Esme meeting the head of the Wansdale family for the first time. It's going to be a lot of... The 2 side stories are going to be Doc, which is Ida's pet / familiar. This little guy right here. The blue creature right here. The blue bird / technically he's an owl, but he's an owl that can use transmutation. He's going to be having his own side story where he confronts Esme's familiar for the first time. And there's going to be a scene with Abigail getting a phone call from her family, setting up some story elements for Abigail. It probably was going to occur anyways. Abigail's story was going to occur anyways. And Doc's story probably was going to be a gag going through probably on Ida's first day at Wands, where she officially works at Wands. But story-wise, that's not going to happen until about 8 or 9. It sounds amazing if we start like a Pokemon episode. Oh no, you're going to battle. I could say that, yeah. In the next month, you guys will get the first look at Esme's familiar. The only way to describe it is Eldritchian horror in a cute package. uh, it's not going to be Cthulhu, but it is going to be in the lines of Cthulhu. And it's not the only familiar to come. When we get to Ida's friend showing up in the comic, because they will, from their childhood friend, known as Rylan. You'll meet Rylan's familiar as well. And for Rylan's familiar, I will say the only way to describe it is Odie from Garfield meets Dragon. And it's kind of giving it away, but I drew all three of these characters years ago, or a year or so ago, and it's like my favorite is Rylan's familiar, even though I draw Doc a lot, and Doc's supposed to be like the reasonable, down to the earth familiar for Ida, because Ida's got her head in the cloud all the time. So having someone like Doc around helps ground her, but at the same time, there are people that would be like, you shouldn't have your pet around in the school. We've already had it. We have the character Diane in Chapter 2 having issue with Doc, where she calls him an ugly pigeon. Even though he is an owl, technically. The look is meant to be off from owl. But he is an owl. Why am I getting evil, cute rabbit vibes? The ones in ReZero. Not something to make angry. But like you're adding pets and some meanings. Yeah, I mean, I don't really get too many cuteness with Demon Blade. I mean, we have Hachi, who is based off of the real life dog. So we have an Akita that I draw for Hachi. And I guess I could say Mino as well, which is a cow mascot superhero fanatic. So, I mean, those are my cute characters in Demon Blade. But I don't really get to do much humor other than Hachi coming out and attacking Tetsu with licks all the time. Or Mino going on a superhero quest or something like that. They're not mascot characters like Doc is. Doc is ultimately a mascot character. A Chopper-like character in One Piece. But, of course, Chopper plays a bigger role in One Piece as a doctor in the series. So, but he's really a mascot character. Oda knows he's a mascot character, and that's why he draws them the way he does. That's why Chopper gotta glow up in the series. When I think it was Water 7, when Chopper changed form from his more realistic element look to the cutesy version he's now. I want to see the live action take on him. We've seen hints of what they want to do, but until I actually see the character in the live action, I don't know if it'll work. But it's kind of hard to avoid Chopper because he plays such a crucial role in the series. It's like, you're gonna die. I know that the plan is to go sort of like Grogu is treated in the Mandalorian, with a practical puppet along with a not so practical CGI at times. I have no doubts for Brainpoint to be cute and likable. It's the other points that are going to be hard for them to do. Because Human Point and Monster Point. I mean, Monster Point's got to be CGI. There's no doubt about that. And you can't avoid Monster Point. The reindeer point, or the horn point, or jump point, yeah, arm point is where it's going to look weird. Because that is one of the weirdest forms Chopper takes in the series, and it's where his arms are like huge and muscular, but he's still relatively regular reindeer-like. And it's like, yeah, Chopper was frightening when he changed. Yeah, he had a one-third waves, or others played any one-third waves. No, I haven't. One-third waves. The mascot is super cute. That's the thing. If you're gonna have a masked character, and this is what I was, having issue when I drew Doc for the first time. You need to make sure, if you're gonna go with a mascot character, that one, you want them cute, you want them easy to draw, and you want them marketable. And those three categories can be challenging. So, I mean, I can be like, oh, well, I can get the cute, but is it marketable? Is it easy to draw? Can I, pull it out real quick and be like, yeah. For Doc, it was challenged to, because initially Doc was, typical owl colors, about the same with pretty much their face. Then I was like, no. Let's not make this all owl-like. Let's make this cute and dumb looking, in a sense. So that's where I came up with the dumb look on his face. In fact, yeah. Since we're gonna do some art about it, let's see here. Let's real quickly put in the blue background for me to just set this. Okay. Alright. Let's get a fresh page. So I'll draw Doc as I initially drew him in my sketches to promote it. So I just used the wrong brush. Alright. So this was more how Doc was drawn initially. And I was like, we're approaching upon a little more of Ice King from Gunther from Adventure Time. You try out when new computer. Yeah, definitely. Vibes of... Okay. Of Genshin, yeah. Yeah, I will add it to the list. I'll add it to the list. There are a few shows or games that I'm putting on the list, for stream in the future. I know, because I've had a friend / coworker asking me, we're definitely going to do Baldur's Gate 3. I'm going to do Hogwarts Legacy, despite the controversy. So we're going to do Hogwarts Legacy. And we're going to do some other things. So this is kind of how I drew Doc out when I tested things out or tried things out. I was like, this isn't mascot worthy. He's a little too creepy faced. He is owl-like. But at the same time, since I make him be, Hogwarts Legacy is great. Can't wait. Good. My problem with doing this was when I do the transformations, because he can become let's see if I can remember all of them by heart. He can become a mouse. So I'm just write these real quick. I know my handwriting's horrible. Let's do this right. Mouse. He becomes a snake. Spider. We showed the spider already in the series. He can become, I think, a ferret is one of them. Toad. It's meant he's the mouse / rat. I'll do that. There. It's meant to be like 10 forms he can change, but 2 of them he's not skilled at yet. And those 2 are cat and monkey. I think he can be an octopus also. That's definitely one of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's one more. It's slipping my mind what kind that I gave him. But that's how Doc looked originally. Now when I draw Doc, and yes, it's a Doctor Who joke, that the owl's called Doc. Even though I don't care for current Doctor Who. But a turtle. It's possible. I mean, it's possible to do turtle. Why is fun? I literally can read the post, and I didn't freaking write it. Right? Turtle. So we'll do that. Alright. I was like, okay, well, let's give him a little quail feather. Put his eyes as just white. Make his beak diamond-like. Tail. And then I added the blue tone with the purple highlights to give him that magical look. And then when he goes into a spider, he's drawn simply like a cartoon spider. With his beak, his eyes, and his little feather. Same would be when he becomes a snake. He's gonna look... the point is to make him look cartoony and stupid, but still have these looks. With the with certain elements present. So, I mean... it's dumb cartoony moments with Doc that make him play out a lot easier with this design versus this design. So it's giving him a unique look whenever I transform him. So if I were to do a turtle version, it'd be like his head sticks out of a shell, little stubby legs, but his head would still have the beak, the feather, and the dumb eyes. I'll give a dark version. I'll show a little bit of what the shadow version of Esme's pet is. So Esme's pet is chubby, but has eldritch tentacles coming out of it. Yeah, go give away same creature. Yeah. So this is as close as I'm going to give you to, because he is going to be introduced next month, because the panel will come out literally the beginning of next month, where I introduce this character, but it's just going to be a side gag. But the creature being this fat tub with eldritch tentacles of darkness about it. That will have issues with Bird. You can only guess what would have issue with Bird. And once I draw him out of shadow, you'll see him in a more funnier look. But that's a quick sketch of the in shadow form you're gonna see soon in the series. Actually, let me double check. It might be next week or this week. Let me see here. Let me see where I ended witching last time. Okay. So no, it'll be 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Because I know we've already shown off a little bit. I mean, this is the next page to drop. So that'll drop tomorrow, about midnight. Or not midnight, noon. Because we do noon drops nowadays. So, Witcher will return. And Demon Blade also will return. And I'm going to try and stay at least a month ahead with Patreon sponsors, where those comics are. We're also going to be releasing some other stuff. I know a lot of people have been wanting Magical Princess War. Keep going. August is coming up quick. Yes, it's next week. It's next week. That's why I said next month. Yeah, Magical Princess War, I'm going to push up to once a month releases on that as well, because a lot of people are fans of that. And that's me tackling on comics, cartoons, and other stuff in a humorous way. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Let's see. this was the last page of MPW. So it literally is, as it says, a princess war between magical princesses. For a long time, it's only been the American shows, but we literally just went through a flashback which shows Sailor Moon's involved with this story. It's an ongoing gag with different cartoon series. South Park's involved. Rick and Morty's involved. It's meant to bring all the multiverses of the world of cartoondom together, in a sense, and video games, because Bowser's here. And spoilers, so is Ganon from Zelda. One of my favorite songs that I created that's just a joke. But yeah. So, I mean, we're gonna have some enjoyable stuff coming down the line. We're gonna be finishing a few other comics that people have been wanting to end. So, One Piece Days at Sea, which is a fan comic that we've been doing, that's coming to an end. A lot of the fan comics we've been doing outside of MPW are coming to an end. So, sounds like a cartoon video game character I have watched as every kid. Exactly. The point was it came from Patreon. From Sim vs. the World. They made the request for me to draw Star versus the Force of Evil, writing MLP Magical Friendship is Magic characters to fight Sailor Moon. And I created this elaborate story for that one, where the multiverse is at risk. Every universe and every creation is at risk. And they're just starting almost 100 pages in to realize, oh crap, this creation called Null is going to destroy everything. And a lot of cartoon villains are bringing forth Null to destroy their enemies. Kind of arrogantly. The one leading the way rightfully is Bill Cipher. He is basically like, oh, no. You won't let me create my world of chaos, so I'll just destroy everything. Concept. And so it's cartoon characters going against utter destruction. Which is rightfully why the creation is called Null. He will wipe everything from creation. So, yeah. Wow, YouTube is... Chat has not been scrolling up. I don't know why it's not. Properties. Why are you not scrolling? Huh. Weird. As someone who knows and does programming, Null page and zeros are a large threat to developers. Good choice of a villain name. Yes! I mean, it's gonna be a challenge to quote-unquote draw Null, because it's a technical thing. Any page that's gonna feature Null has to be a PNG or a GIF, because it needs to have transparency because null is literally a void in the page. And I can't do that in a JPEG. So if I draw null, you'll see a void onto the page. That's the way it's going to be done. And I'm going to pretty much show someone died in null pretty soon in that comic. Because null hasn't been seen yet. But I do have to denote that they are already feeding null. And null is noted as the endpoint of all. Meaning, in the universe, you have the beginning and you have the end. And null is the end point. And feeding null brings forth the end. So having characters having to confront a null, an actual end point, is a wonderful concept. And I'm surprised a lot of people haven't made the end point in a story be the ultimate end point. There are a few original characters in MPW. I mean, if I go back to the page, the guy in the blue suit, this muscly arm. In fact, let's see if I can go to the previous page. They're called the False Diamonds. They're in Steven Universe's world. So they're getting a more sorrowful and dramatic moment here. And they're facing false diamonds, which are based on real false gems. So they're Monsiet. Another one is Zigid. Where are they? Where did I have them? Last page. I'm gonna go back a few. So you do see the Sailor Moon pages that star confronted Sailor Moon characters. Why am I going back? Okay, there we go. There we go. This all started based off of Sailor Moon stepping on a sandwich and confrontation. But yeah, here we go. So, and the enemies calling themselves Jello. I love that you had Eric Cartman as the representative of Jello from South Park. That labeled the industry after the product of Jello. But it's like an algorithm of, like, what is it? Just evil. It's like so on and so on and so on. I don't even remember I just wanted the joke of making Jello the villain. Hey there, Dr. Seven. Hey, Dr. Seven. And so you have the villains here that are original creations. Hippit, Civid, and Masonet Diamond. All of them are diamonds. False diamonds, but they're diamonds. So they're diamonds, of course, being in Steven Universe, the most powerful of gems. So here we have false diamonds. Each based off of, I believe one is based off of industrial diamonds that you use in tools. Another one's based in growable diamonds that are for jewelry. And the last one is the type of diamond that is used to create lasers, which is why I believe it's MOSFET that is the red with stuff. Beef algorithms, each absence and nullification. numerical harmony as disruption and cosmic order is valued. Yes! Yes. Yes. It is important to have that sort of deep setup. And considering I'm not a huge Steven Universe fan, introducing Steven Universe to where storyline where Steven's dad's already taken by Jello at this point. Steven's trying to fight back, but is losing. And I have to have a moment where this team, because technically there are 3 teams that we're going to follow, this team is going to have a loss. So, Star's already kind of fallen out of the team with her problems with Marco in this chapter. She's going to disappear for a bit in the story. We'll probably go back to Rick and Morty with Ford and Mabel and Dipper going into South Park in that story, where we learn a bit more about what's going on, and we have a bit of South Park humor in the comic. And we'll probably cut back to Jello with Star appearing there. And we'll have a scene also with Sailor Moon and all the sensei dealing with the aftermath of the fight that Star left on. So there's gonna be a bit of aftermath there. It's a fun one to draw. The only reason I've been slow on releasing that is because I have commitment to Patreon sponsors for more work in that. Select. Alright, we need to deselect. Alright. So, that's the only reason why MPW has not released as often as it has. South Park is great. I just played the game not too long ago. Which one? The Fresher Butthole, Stick of Truth, or what is it? The Snow Day. I hear Snow Day is not great. That it's not really got as much humor involved. I would play them on stream, but I'd have to figure out a way to censor certain parts. Fresher Butthole. Yes, Fresher Butthole. I might be able to do Fresher Butthole on stream. I don't remember as well. I played both it and Stick of Truth, and I started replaying Stick of Truth on Switch. I had both on Switch, which it's weird that Switch is freer in choice of games than PlayStation, honestly. It's not that's been the case, but the fact that adult games, if I wanted to, is absurd. Whereas PlayStation, which is supposed to be the more adult system, denies you from playing adult content at times, even though they have games with adult content. I didn't know that it was on Switch. Yeah, both games. In fact, when it came out, because I bought Freshered Butthole on the Switch at launch, and I did it because I was able to get Stick of Truth as well, and I already had Stick of Truth on PlayStation, but I knew from the talking to people that there was going to be a scene edited on the PlayStation. And it's like, seriously? Why are you censoring this? But they'll let a rape scene in Last of Us 2 occur. But they won't let cartoon, violence or sexual incidents occur. And it's absurd what PlayStation does. It really does. On their censorship. I mean, ultimately, when you see my upgrade that we're gonna do, it's gonna be either on PC or we'll hook up a system at times, because that's originally how we were doing things until Windows decided to make my freaking capture card null and void by saying it's not a camera, even though it is a camera. So I'm going to make sure this new setup at least can play most games on the PC. And politics are weird. I don't understand. It's not even really politics. It's censorship, but only on certain elements censorship. I mean, it goes into more of Shadman talk. I mean, we're talking about child predators and child sexual elements in that. So a lot of what we would see that PlayStation considers acceptable to me is questionable. And the irony that Crunchyroll is owned by Sony and that censorship is abound on Crunchyroll these days. It's weird. I mean, we kind of talked about this with Ranma on Tuesday's stream. On how, yes, it's censoring the manga, but it's going on Netflix, and I know what's going to erupt with Ranma on Netflix, with people who have not read the comic or seen the series before, with the remake, if it had the nudity. That people would be like, this is not right! Like, yeah, but this series was meant to break walls of what is not acceptable in society as a norm. That's what Ranma was meant to do. But it's not, as we stated, not a trans anime. And the others have been commenting on that one. Thank you. Yes, I did not want to discuss Cheeky Angel, the end of Cheeky Angel, because yeah, it's the reason I say it's closer to trans because the character at least identified as the opposite gender for a while. But the touch is, as you learn in the end, she was mentally screwed. And that she was always a girl, but she was mentally told she was a boy through magic, and it's creepy. It's creepy. How that was represented. But it's still a good series. And why Viz didn't really release that series more, I don't understand. They had the rights. they didn't really do the TV series and all that. What triggers me are people that defend movies like Cuties, but attack films like Sound of Freedom. Exactly. I have more, with Sound of Freedom, I have more influence on that one. I was a sponsor, and still am a proud sponsor of Project Underground Railroad, which is Sound of Freedom, is what Sound of Freedom is based on. I have always supported Project Underground Railroad. I've had an issue with its founder and the issues he came up with recently, but it's not stopped me from supporting the group and their mission. Because sexual slavery is a horrible, and it's not just child, it's adult as well. You have sex slaves and you have organ slaves, where people literally hold on to children to harvest their organs for heal or medical purposes to save, usually terrorists, people like ISIS did this, where they would take children and they would harvest their organs to save a terrorist. And it's like, yay. That's just wonderful. You kept a child alive only to use their organs as harvest. It's like, that's despicable. And I mean, and we're not talking about, oh, this poor white girl in America was taken into slavery. No, we're talking about, like, individuals throughout the world taken hostage and sexually abused or physically abused in slavery. I mean, a lot of what Underground Railroad does is not in the U.S. A lot of it is outside of the U.S. As someone who lives in Southern Cali, I can see traffickers firsthand. They've been stealing a lot of trucks near the border cartel booming again. Yeah, I feel for you, Jack. I mean, honestly, California is a mess. California is a huge, huge mess of crime and just poor treatment of homelessness and mental disorders. They are... I do not see how people celebrate Gavin Newsom and what he's done with California. The man has destroyed San Francisco, and it's gone on and destroyed the entire state with letting criminals have their way in California and not making them pay. And it also goes to a certain someone running for president right now, because their hands are in that mess as well. A lot of people don't want to talk about it, but yeah, Miss Harris is not a good prosecutor. Those that want to say, oh, she's a good prosecutor, she has all this DA element. She abused her power, and it showed. And it was worse when you going into elements with the abuse of keeping people in jail to use for cheap labor. That was irresponsible and disgusting for her to do. And the more people know about it, the better. you know, if you still want to vote for her, that's on you. So, I say, find somebody better, honestly. And I know I'm not alone on that. And that's not even going into the border issue, which is a mess into itself. But I don't like to get political, but that needs to be more discussed. I know Trump's issues have been discussed a lot, right? She's a part of the problem. I think she got like 3% in the primaries. Not even that. No, she got 0% in the primaries. She got no votes. She did not even make it to the first vote. I mean, you just have to listen to Tulsi Gabbard rip into her back at the 2000 election primaries, and it's just lays out how much of a bad person she was. And I'm glad I'm seeing a lot of black people on YouTube say, dude, don't vote for this woman. She is bad. I mean, get somebody better, please. Please. I'm kind of surprised she stayed on the ticket this time around, but I can stay political too. But if we're talking about protecting children, both here and abroad, there are things that really situation needs. But yeah. And if we go, I kind of want to be hesitant about saying it. If war breaks out, truly breaks out, and why I'm hesitant is it definitely seems, in my eyes, war's already broken out. It's just we're denying ourselves, saying it's not. The situation with children is going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Because one, you'll have a distraction. You'll have orphans. You'll have situations where the issue is not going to be looked at because we have to worry about total destruction stuff instead. And I don't know if the election will solve the war issue that we're barreling down. But I know not addressing the issue is not going to solve it. So letting stuff go on, paying groups that are known terrorist sympathizers does not help. And I'd rather us stay the hell out of war, honestly. I'm in my 40s. We've been in war probably 30% of my life. 40, 50, maybe. The 80s were a little bit more peacetime. They weren't as dramatic. 90s, we got the Gulf War for the early 90s. Then we had the Balkans in the late 90s, Afghanistan and Iran, or Iraq, Afghanistan, Iraq, and 2000s. And yeah, peace must be kept, children must be protected, art must be preserved. We always lose way more in war than we gain. Absolutely. Absolutely. War is never good for anything. It's good for invention, but it's not good for people in the long run. And we're gonna regret anything that we're currently doing if we don't fight back soon against going to war. And both sides of politics, for the most part, want war. There's no doubt in my mind that some on the right, I'm looking at particularly the older people in Congress on the right, want war. And a lot on the left these days are wanting war. And I don't understand. They used to be the party against war, and they are so adamant to go into war now. I know if there were a draft, I'm not included these days. One, I'm too old. Two, my health sucks. So they wouldn't have put me in it anyway. But I don't want to see the draft brought back. I really don't. But it's possible. It's been talked about. I know, I'm well over the time, but we've been having technical issues. I'm going to try and piece together the video on YouTube. So it's all in one with our tech issues. On Kris Tyson. And to sort of conclude the issue from earlier, so if you're tuning in late, this is wrong. The whole Kris Tyson issue is wrong. Shadman is in jail. I know at this point. They should not be publicly allowed to draw what they were drawing. Actually, I don't know if they're currently in jail, but they were in jail, at least, for what they created. Mr. Beast, you need to come out with an apology on your channel. On your channel. It's not acceptable to hide it away. It has to be public. And you need to come out vehemently against child pornography. You really do. Because right now, there's an image of you looking on at Shadman's work in Kris's house. So saying you didn't know this until recently is bull. It's bull. You knew it. You may not have known fully what Kris was into, but you knew it. So, come out with a proper video, a proper apology, and, be the person you try to be on a stream or on videos. If you're not, then I'm all for people removing you from their products, from their lineup, I'm not gonna say censor you, but you're making yourself look worse if you don't come out with this. Times are tough. I feel bad for a generation. They have rough, abused, ignored. Yeah, Shadman and Kris shouldn't be protected. Thanks for calling it as is, Embryo. You're a rock star. Thank you. Yes, great work on the art. Sorry if I distracted. You didn't. Dribble draw. We get distracted all the time. We needed to do I was gonna do the art no matter what. It was gonna be drawn tomorrow. If not tonight. So we were gonna do it anyway. I expect distractions and dribble draw. That's what this stream is. We touch on a topic, we make it a discussion, and we draw while we do it, because we need a distraction when we hit the harder subjects. I might make Tuesdays the official dribble draw stream about tech. Do something a little more lighthearted, because even Rama was a bit harsh from what we've been doing. I kind of want to go back to the crimes of the food stars that we started this stream on. Or silly costumes, or creepy costumes of the past. But I'm not going to revisit some topics. If new stuff develops in this one, we'll talk more about it. But for now, we're good. We'll be back on Tuesday. I promise I will try to make health provided as the only excuse. Dining and doodles next week. Gaming, with our tech issues, I think gaming's going to be on put a hold until we get the upgrade. But at least the art streams will be available. But gaming's probably going to be on hold for at least a few months, just until we can get the tech issues fixed. And figure out what the problem is with everything that's going on with Streamlabs, because I might have to jump to a new OBS with performances that Streamlabs has done in the past. Alright, with that said, we go back to our regular ways of ending these streams. Go out there, be the best you that you can be. Do not be a child predator. That is not a way to be the best you. Doing any harm to others is not being the best you that you can be. And as always, good night, or have a good night. A wonderful night, wonderful night, wonderful week, and a wonderful year. Good night, everybody.
Lights go down, streams